Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch was launched in 2025 as a 33-piece limited edition from Greubel Forsey. This is the final version of the Balancier Contemporain. It is a watch whose series originally launched in 2019, and it marked a distinct change of sizing philosophy for Greubel Forsey. Greubel Forsey always was a brand that was more is more, and so bigger cases, more complication, greater expense. Starting in 2016 with the Signature 1 and continuing in 2019 with the original Balancier Contemporain, Greubel Forsey decided that sometimes simplicity can be beautiful, and that's exactly what this watch brings to the table. Now, this is the only time I'm going to call a Greubel Forsey watch everyday durable in the material sense, because short of one of their ceramic pieces, this stainless steel is about as practical as it gets. This is only the third piece they've launched in stainless steel, and at 39.6 millimeters diameter, it's an easy size to wear. It's 12.9 millimeters thick as I measure it, and 46.5 from lug to lug with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. A 33-piece limited edition. It's got a nice ring to it. On the wrist, it's also got a nice look to it. You can see the lug profile is curved, and I would actually say this would wear on a wrist a little bit smaller than mine. So my wrist is 16 centimeters circumference, and you can see it'll easily fit under a cuff there. It's not as thick as it looks. It's sheer, but it's not thick. I would say you could wear this on a 15 centimeter circumference wrist, maybe even 14 if your wrist is flat across the top rather than round. Of course, the strap is part of Greubel Forsey's advancing campaign to get animal-based products off your wrist, and so since about 2021 they've been using these non-animal based straps, and everyone wins here. It'll last longer and stay handsome longer. It's easier to clean than leather. The animal lovers don't have to worry, and the animals get to keep their skin. So it's more durable, lasts longer, easy to clean, and humane. There is no downside here. You can see it's a textile strap with a conventional crosshatch stitch on the top. There is some bolstering to give it volume. And then you see in profile, there's some suede on the bottom. It feels a lot like Alcantara. If you're familiar with the super luxe synthetic suede that you find on the inside of Porsche GT3s and Ferrari up-optioned models, it's this stuff, and it's really soft, comfortable, velvety against the skin. We've got a Greubel Forsey steel pin buckle, simple stuff, polish and satination with a little bit of media blast on the bottom. The lugs are handsome, and as usually the case with Greubel Forsey lugs, they're more nuanced than you think. They've got a bit of a concave inward sweep, and then we have a combination of polish and satin. When viewed in profile, we have the Greubel Forsey logo lacquered onto the crown. 30 meters water resistant, so splash or rain exposure. You can see the lugs right up the side of the bezel a little bit, a trick watch designers use to keep a watch thin while allowing the lugs to be a little bit fuller. Taking a look at the bezel itself, it's got a vertical lip and a conical profile, and the primary reason Greubel Forsey claims a thinner measurement than the 12.9 I measured is because it appears Greubel Forsey measures its cases without crystals, and that's front and back. So I think they claim something like 2.2. No, actually I think it was 12.2. So they're claiming about 7/10 of a millimeter less than reality by not including these sapphires. Now we do have a bubble-like sapphire here, cambered almost like a plexi, over a movement that is Maillot, or German silver. It's been frosted with a wire brush and then blued, and then we have a multi-level dial. The dial parts, the parts that are actually timescales, those are made of gold. We have a steel bridge for the balance. We have a gold engraved and lacquered power reserve scale, 2 barrels, and they're fast barrels. They give this watch a 72-hour power reserve. As you wind it, the power reserve indicator advances. And an interesting feature here that's definitely not universal on Greubel Forsey watches, when you pull the crown, you stop the balance wheel. And so this is a rare hacking second Greubel Forsey watch. Taking a look at the balance, we may as well. You can see it's a free-sprung design of Greubel Forsey's own, and that little masses move in and out in pairs to fine-tune the timing. It's a massive balance. Although it doesn't have a super high beat rate, what it does have, it's a 3 hertz, so it's 6 beats per second. It has an enormous and massive balance. This balance is 12.6 millimeters across, one of the biggest in the business. And so it makes up with mass what it lacks in outright beat rate. You can also see it's a free-sprung balance, so the precision of adjustment will stay in the face of bumps or concussion. When you have a mobile stud index, a timing mechanism that can move, a shock to the watch can often change the timing, but it's not possible to move those bolts in the rim, so they move in and out in pairs only when the watchmaker moves them. They can't be displaced by a concussion, vibration, or shock. The full balance bridge, which you can see is anchored on both sides, also does a better job of bracing against shock than a single-side balance cock. Here we have KIF shock protection, and then an overcoil hairspring. And I believe Greubel Forsey uses a Phillips curve, but the whole point of using an overcoil is that it centers the mass of the hairspring, so no matter what position it's in on your dresser or your wrist, it's going to keep consistent time. That's the advantage of an overcoil. So the hands for the timekeeping, they're actually polished, hand decorated, and made of gold, so they won't tarnish or oxidize. You can see that we've got polished screw heads. We've got jewels set in golden chaton, a nod to the pocket watch era. Taking a look, you can see that there's these little columns that are polished on which the bridge is mounted, and the bridge is mirror polished across its top and beveled on its side. You can actually see that there are knuckles where the bevels meet that form those sharp interior angles, 4 of them in fact, of which we've been told so much on social media. And then a nice touch, not necessary but appreciated, Greubel Forsey puts mirror polished metal underneath the balance to reflect more light so you can see it. And although it's not the easiest thing to see, the subordinate structure of the escapement bridge that has also been polished and beveled. Taking a look at the case back, you can see this is one of 33, it says so. All of this text, it's easier to see when it's this big, but this is Greubel Forsey's philosophy of watchmaking en français. The company is based out of Le Chaux-de-Fonds, and it's probably the closest to having a ratio of 1 employee to 1 watch made, with a little bit over 100 employees and somewhere between 100 and 150 pieces made per year. You can see this movement nicely fills out the case back. We've got this gold plaque in the center with the number, and although it's not easy to see, if you look at where the nameplate is, where it says Greubel Forsey, it's actually a hand-chiseled or peened base below those polished letters. So the attention to detail, like I said, superb. The golden chaton, noting how jewels were often set in vintage pocket watches, and Greubel Forsey always paying deference and respect to history because the founders, Robert Greubel and Stephen Forsey, began their careers in restoration. You could see the solarization, media blast, and polishing on the barrel cover. Everything on Greubel Forsey, from a decorative standpoint and a material standpoint, is the best available. If you want something uncompromising, but also relatively easy to wear, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.